Yo, it's your boy Braveboy on the He Ho podcast with my brethren, Bazzy and Toolman. You don't know.
That's the first time I did it like that. Anyway, start the show.
It's funny, eh?
Fresh out the realms. As a matter of fact, let's do the post, please.
No.
Is this European? Yeah, good, Matty. Yeah, ho.
Oh.
It's not a little millisecond where he get upset. It's not a little millisecond.
When he said,
it's not a pong, man.
Where he
pregnant ho.
Yeah, it's not a little millisecond.
Get a put him up.
Yeah.
Hee-haw.
Welcome to the show. Episode number 59. Yeah?
We on
60, 61.
62.
61?
We on 62.
Like,
We had
I was not
62.
defending realm for
We
the
had 62.
Yeah.
I was not defending realm. All right, so episode 62. Welcome.
Right, so-
We have Mr. Braveboy. Welcome.
Yeah, Braveboy, you know, Mr.
Hardy.
Make him feel old.
We can't say Hardy anymore.
Not big man.
Yeah.
Okay, because he was like, what did he tell me? Who coming on his show? It's like, Marcus Braveboy. I was like, who the is Marcus Braveboy?
He was a Mark Hardy.
Yeah, if you say Hardy, I was like, oh.
I just kind of like to call you Dan Braveboy that way.
No, I don't know my real name, right? That is my government name, right?
Braveboy?
Yeah.
There are people in Trinidad named Braveboy.
Yeah, from family from Grenada.
Braveboy is your
Yeah.
surname.
Yeah. Marcus Hilton Braveboy. That's my real government name.
Yeah, your grandfather was a Grenadian superhero.
Well, it's so many stories, but apparently great-grandfather used to fight for the rights of people in Grenada, so they named him Braveboy, you know? Kind of like a community leader.
And then he
But
get
the
to change.
right kind of community leader.
He get to change his name like to that.
Yeah, no, in Braveboy, in Braveboy, in Grenada, I remember there's a street called like Braveboy, something like Braveboy Terrace, Braveboy. Yeah,
And like
it's a normal name in Grenada.
Shit.
So you're a real Braveboy.
So you're like the,
Yeah.
like the Black William Wallace, if you will.
You can say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really interesting, by the way.
Yeah,
Okay,
I remember it's my name, so I accustomed it. But the funny thing is, Mark Hardy sound more like a normal name.
I thought Mark Hardy was your name.
I thought that was
Funny enough, they have an old white man named Mark Hardy in Trinidad.
No, well, I thought
I
that's what I thought. Honestly, I
Yeah.
thought the name came from. You remember Teddy is Ed Hardy, the Ed Hardy.
Yeah.
I thought it was like a play on Ed Hardy.
that.
And then
That's it,
Nah,
because it was around the same time. That's when they now pop Ed Hardy was also
like a little before.
Yeah.
Now the truth is, I studied law, right? So I was considering doing the bar and going down that career path. And law is a very kind of conservative field.
Yeah.
So at the time, now I feel like in the industry, you could kind of do what you want and be different things. Just in life. I feel like a few years ago, you had to choose one thing and stick to it. So if you're a lawyer, you're a lawyer. If you're an entertainer, you're an entertainer. If you're trying to do both, society might watch you a certain way, right?
Thank God GW.
So-
Anyway,
Yeah, so I
paved the way.
had to kind of balance that now. So like I decided to keep my government name
right.
professional, if you want to say that, for
Right.
corporate. And I had to create a name. So the name was, Mark is short for Marcus.
okay.
And Hardy is a synonym which means strong, resilient. It's the closest thing to brave that, It kind of sound cool. Mark Hardy sound like somebody you know already,
No,
Sound
it does.
familiar. Yeah.
I was
So
like, he's
that
West
is-
boy.
Yeah, big
Good
up
marketing.
Giandre. Giandre is the person who helped me,
Come up with that name.
Yeah.
So, get into your music career because that's where I see you first with this video with Isaac.
Yeah,
Nah boy.
Nah, boy,
Yeah. And I come from the East now, boy, so I didn't know that kind of
And then went on the
Yeah.
What you mean went on the West meant stole the East vernacular and use it in your music now. That's basically
Yeah,
what,
but
I was
live-
offended.
I lived my first 2 years in Arima, so I used to live Santa Rosa first. So
I was like, no, because I didn't want to mash up Isaac because I was like, his friends, but I say Hardy,
Yeah.
Hardy gotta get for everybody. When you
Even in East, when I around the East Bridges, I say, nah, I used to live Arima.
you know, like when the West was just stealing all our shit.
Yeah.
But if you talk to the East Indians in Trinidad, they will tell you, nah, boy, is East Indian slang. Eh?
Oh no, because right.
Come from countryside. and
Bye,
come from
no,
thing, eh?
it's not boy, it's bye. B-A-I,
Yeah, not bye, yeah,
which is
yeah.
which is friend. Hindi for friend or
Yeah.
brother. And I find out that recently.
So they would have been the originators, eh?
Yeah,
So,
they know. Yeah.
Yeah. Then he's you know.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
have all the swag, you know, all the talks and all the swag.
No,
and
because
everything,
he had the Arima man swag. So I was like, okay, Isaac's not like with these niggas. And this might be a bad decision, Isaac. You're in trouble.
Isaac, don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Pick
he's a
up
good
Isaac.
one.
Young Rod.
Rod is a good one. He's a good one. So when I see a group of artists with such lyrical kind of prowess in his sense, because they're just rapping on basically out of thin air, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't.
Well,
But it wasn't corny now, but
It wasn't wine.
like,
Wine boomsy. Just wine your bottom. Wine your bottom.
and then
Yeah.
the style right now is speaking in the Trinidad dialect now. So that's what make it cool.
Yeah.
You know, so in the sense I see rappers nowadays just try to use this American accent and they're not very adept at it.
No, and I see thing anymore because I really into like the global music industry and thing, and the successful artists from each country sing, especially in hip hop, sing in their authentic accents. Whether it's
Right.
UK,
Australia.
whether it's Australia, French,
German,
German,
yeah.
etc. You know.
And I think that's what does make it authentic.
Yeah, so I am not against people who sing an American accent and they're from Trinidad, but I think the tricky thing is what part of America you're from.
Yeah.
Right, that's
Yeah.
because that's the real thing. When you get into the industry, and if you're singing like you're from New York, you know what part of New York you're from.
Correct.
You're from
'Cause
Queens.
you
You're
have
from. So you have a story now. So if it is you're from, you know, you're from Aranguez,
Barataria.
yeah, you know, it didn't really make sense to your
like
fans
a
outside.
nigga, bro.
But I know people who could do it really well, but nobody ever really bust big doing that. Like
Yeah.
American accent hip hop from Trinidad. Closest was Spot Rushers.
Nah.
Right? And I
Spot
still
Rushers,
think
yeah.
that Spot
I heard that
Rushers.
was Trinidad,
Yeah, them
right?
fellas said,
Yeah.
I mean, they said they you know, they
It's
paved the
standard.
road for us.
Yeah.
But they still kind of mixed it up. You know, like they started to have Trini hooks. You know, one of the fellas, Nigel Telesford, he's blonde. This used to be known as Woo or Blonde Dangerous. He started to do kind of like what me and Isaac, you know, started to do as well. So at some point, you have to integrate your authenticity.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
And then when, for you, did he hat and glasses? Did you on Christmas let's both get glasses?
Christmas here.
This particular glasses.
Daily glasses.
I mean, it just style. You know, it you know, like it's how I start. I grew up listening to a lot of hip hop. You know, I always kind of dressed a bit like a rapper because I started off singing soca, like you know, the raga soca as a teenager and that kind of stuff. But I always like hip hop swag and you know, like that artist look. And I think image became a real important thing for me. Like when people see you, you should know that is Braveboy, or that at the time Mark Hardy, etc. You know.
Because that's what I thought. I really thought the hardy part was because he was wearing the truckers. I was like,
You have to understand the
it was
thing, but nah, just
everything lined up. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's a cool name. It's a cool name. It's a cool name.
That is actually a cool name, I think.
It was a cool. It was a
Yeah,
cousin.
bad boy name.
No, because Isaac had like crap. Okay,
It's like a
you
short
pick your last
It's like
name.
a short Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
Yeah,
wrestler.
it was like a wrestler name.
It's like a
So
wrestler name.
it was me kind of creating a star name, you know, that just made sense. And I remember we were thinking, yeah, it just sound cool.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
So
Because he's like 6'2". You should do correct. If the music don't play off, just you know,
Yeah, 6'5", I don't-
fancy.
6'5".
Yeah, my way train.
Man, that was 6'2", 6'5".
I mean, he tried to measure you. Know?
Yeah. Nah, 6'5".
Six, right? So now, ideal. I think that's Hulk Hogan height. You could go wrestling. You could go sports. You
But
could
then you
go.
done-
Yeah, but I used
think the
to,
performance
basketball
and
was my thing. Basketball in like primary school into early secondary school, but yeah. I discovered lineman and that was the end of that.
Yeah.
All right. So, oh, right. Oh, sorry. We're taking pictures in the middle of the show now. We have a big time studio.
Yes.
manager.
The boss.
Right. So-
Not the boss.
So what we're trying to say is now, we are social justice warriors, right? So we have to fight for the injustices that have been done.
Injustice everywhere.
Injustice happened this
anywhere.
week, boy.
There's an injustice everywhere.
Right?
Yeah, extravagant injustice. you would say.
Extravagant injustice, though,
Extravagant
because-
injustice.
I think we really need to have a conversation about what we be doing in this country or in the world, as a matter of fact, when it comes to this outing of people and he's seen now.
Yeah. You know, okay, I just have to say, we're in 2024. Since when side girls have a fucking opinion?
Well,
Shut your mouth. You were supposed to take your word on the side and shut up.
But you know, you set up the whole scene too. She knows she gave all the information.
No.
though.
That was one of the partners. One of the partners clearly sell them out. Yeah.
Ibrahim,
My thing is, I think you had to play a role whatever position you choose. So if it's the main, if it's the side, if it's the whatever,
Ladies,
everybody have a job to do. As somebody who was a former honor man, right? I can tell you had to play a role, right? And it's one of those things that your job is to do this. And anytime you step outside of or you're asking for more, that is not your position. So the same thing goes to the man, the woman, and the side chick. Everybody has to play the role.
Well, nobody was playing that role.
So if you know that the man have other women and that kind of thing, you know.
But they had a free Terrence though, because
Terrence.
the dad going through it by.
That's the name of the episode.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Hornin is the older I get,
But
the
how
more
do
I
you know it's
realize.
Terrence? What's one in?
I think it's a legend.
I
I think it's a
I-
legend.
I-
Well,
mean,
somebody tell me it might be somebody, one of his batch, sell him out.
Most
boy.
likely.
As he talks.
As he start talk. He does.
I know it's not just the batch. The man was basically facing adversity from the outside thing. The batch and them were watching the scene.
No, well, I would say he in play his role. You're supposed to. If
tell-
that's the life you want to live, I don't live that life, right? But if that is the life you want to live, you have to please your woman. You have to please your outside woman.
I think I think the problem is he just stopped. That's what
He just stopped it.
You stopped dealing with the wife.
The
Like,
wife.
And so she's like, well, I
No,
know
that
that.
would say he gets sloppy.
Yeah,
But it have
so-
a lot of people who, a lot of fellas who out there who, they have their wife, they have their kids at home, but then they paying rent for side check and they have a different place to go and check the side. But if it is you're keeping both parties happy and you're playing your role properly and you're managing your time,
Surely,
I might see without that life. That is too much time
Man,
management.
it's your weight.
They really walked in and get embarrassed.
That's time management.
How clinical you gotta be to wait until you're in the family reunion. Uncle Riri, come down from Miami.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
Be in the kitchen cooking the duck.
Nah, let me say that's a hurt woman.
Yeah, but it's
A
gone.
hurt
scorned
woman.
woman.
Yeah, that is a...
But what I seen,
Yeah.
dog, I seen thing
Keep
on
buying
social
anything.
media. I seen thing on social media now where they done and his wife going and buy food normal in a drive through. So
Indian love. That's Indian love.
Well, like I said,
That's
I-
Indian
I don't know how true it is. I don't know how recent the picture is.
I saw the picture, yeah. It could be an old picture, but then I was studying people wouldn't really know them before now. So
So
it
why
seemed
they
like
might
a
take
kind
a
of fan
random
picture.
picture?
How
It
they
didn't
put-
seem
how they
like
get that
a
picture?
friend or something. So
Yeah,
that's why it seemed kind of
how they get
current,
that
you know?
That's
You
a
know?
recent picture.
Yeah, so-
Well, they make back and I guess, you know.
Good for them.
What was it all for?
What was it all for? That girl needed to shut the hell up. And I mean, the next chick. Like, you shut up.
Which one?
Shania. And I call her name.
Yeah. Well, I think, trying to be objective here, I feel like as she was saying, her legal name was put out there now. So, all this, let me say, if all the parties involved and people in the back and all that thing, right, is an outside woman, you didn't really sign up to have your name blasted on social media. So, if she didn't, if she had just say the Horner woman or just said Shania, that's different. But when you call somebody government name, remember I would assume she have a job. I assume she probably in school or she been.
yeah.
So yes.
She doesn't have a name like Marcus Braveboy, where it's like one. They're like, we talk about him.
Yeah.
Shania was that Sukla Lala or whatever. Like,
Wow.
You could have a few of them.
yeah, it had like 5 of them. I Googled it.
I guess. I mean, I hear
But that's a point. No, that's a point.
That
That's
can
a
be
point.
any chick
I
name
hear
that
your
name
point.
was. Like,
Yeah.
it is you don't have like you have a one in a lifetime. That's why I had to change my name. Like I had to change my name because I was
somebody called
literally
my name, they
the
would say,
one
hey,
of
that
that in
man.
the world.
So your real name is Toolman? Your
No.
real last name is Toolman?
No, I wish. it was Tool C.
Ah, okay,
Tool,
okay,
Tool
okay.
C. So
Yeah.
I literally legally changed my name to our next name.
You legally changed?
Legally changed. I ain't gonna call him next name because last time, brother,
Yeah, nah,
brother, you
brother's
grieving.
grieving though. Whatever.
How that process is like? How is it a random question? Is it a lengthy process or is
Nah, you go buy a lawyer, pay him money, and then he's tell you when to change.
so it's so simple? It's not.
And the problem is you have to now take like the deed pool and go ID office.
No, that is the whole yeah. No, that is a part of it.
and then like I now get back my passport.
So it's a recent thing. It's a
No,
recent
that was years. COVID happened, so I didn't have a point to really get a passport now.
Yeah.
So like we ain't gonna be traveling, so forget about that.
Yeah.
So I recently changed my passport, and then like every single thing you had to go bank, credit
Yeah,
union.
because everything attached to your government name, right?
What?
Anyway, they had to pay a bill or anything.
Nah, I mean, the only thing I didn't want to do is because now they know. Yeah, they might expect you to vote now. So it's like crap.
Well, you know how to vote if you don't want to vote. Though.
You know, you have to vote.
Was-
You have to vote. Sorry, addicted to pro. Sorry.
I know it was going. So there's actually my clothing line, just shameless plug.
Nah,
Addicted to progress.
That's not shame. Huh?
Yeah.
A full shame included. You sell your
So,
clothes.
yeah,
bro.
and interesting story. This is a brand that started from a BBM status, and it ended up to like Marshall wearing it, Bungie wearing it, George Bovell mentioning it. Like we had a kiosk in town center mall.
right.
Damn.
You know, now we have an online store. You know, so that has been a serious journey with Addicted to Progress.
So,
Yeah, there's a good line.
so right now, where we could go and access this merch?
Addictedtoprogress.com.
Addicted to Progress.
www.addictedtoprogress.com.
And no, because typically
Yes.
everybody's
Is that drop shipping kind of vibe?
everybody's have a clothing line, but then it's just be like a jersey. You know what I'm talking about? It's just
Now
a t-shirt.
we have things for toddlers, I know.
So
Yeah.
So talk to me through that process, right? Because good on you that you're an entrepreneur, by the way. Congratulations, right? This is excellent news. Getting into that whole, we'll call it textiles, if you want to call it that,
Yeah.
right? Because you have a clothing line now. Have you seen a profitable introduction to that business, or was it more?
I could be honest with it. So, interestingly enough, so we started with, I say, BBM starters. Then me and my brother was like, I print some t-shirts for Christmas, sell out all of them, do a next batch, sell out all of them. And then I would say up until the store in Town Center Mall, it was profitable. But funny enough, the more we decided to expand and go away from just where we started, it just got a lot trickier because we now pushing in the US market. So it's actually based in Florida. The business is registered in Florida and stuff.
Shit.
But that's been a process just because we're not from America. One of my business partners lives in America, but infiltrate in America. I mean, we live in Trinidad, so it's easy to, you get support to say, but we have a vision fit. And we had to, take some break-evens on losses to reach the next stage. So as it is right now, it's still work in progress, but we have experienced profit, especially in the earlies. That is that's part of business, depends on, I don't know where you want to go.
Yeah.
So we could have keep it where it was and it would have been profitable, but profitable is like what,
And there's I see a lot of local brands.
you
Dead.
can't live off it, I know few people who could live, I'm not saying there's not nobody here doing that, but there are few people who could live off of having a local brand. So for us, it was
What's that notable local brand?
Bang Bang Bang. One was a big one.
Bang Bang is a brand?
Yeah, but Radical Designs.
Radical
Radical
Designs,
Design is
yeah.
definitely one.
Yeah.
Bang Bang is, I would say, is more of a store than a.
Bang Bang wasn't the no.
Now, Bang Bang, they sell different types of clothes.
Okay.
But Radical Designs, they are the perfect example.
But they real established. They established a while now. They're real successful.
Yeah. Because even like Peter Elias have his own stuff, but he sells different. There's a retail store.
Right.
Definitely.
So
for
it's
that.
couture.
Yeah. The next one is do couture. What's it? He's make suits and stuff, but it's like
Eclipse
Light. Yeah.
Eclipse Light, definitely great example. So I would say, like you say, there are less than 10 people who, which is still great for such a small country.
Yeah.
But in terms of, let's say streetwear, because I would say Addicted to Progress is more like a streetwear
lifestyle.
brand.
Urban.
Very few. Yeah, but just with music, it's a good segue into like hip hop and stuff. Like, I don't think there's anybody in Trinidad who's a hip hop artist who's a millionaire from singing hip hop. You know what I mean? So, or a rock artist who's a millionaire from, but there's soca artists who are millionaires from chutney artists, etc. So I equate being a rap artist to having a streetwear brand in Trinidad. You had to go global to
actually make some kind of.
Yeah, it's a numbers game now.
I see.
Because I think what the thing would be like, I don't know, like it's a Marshall weird, but like if you get, I don't know, it's like John Cena or something to wait at WrestleMania, where the hat
No,
for WrestleMania.
Like an exposure.
I could tell you the most
great
random stuff
extent.
happen. I don't know if, or they might know, who Teddy Riley is. Because we talked
Teddy
about
Riley.
Penny earlier with No Diggity.
Yeah.
Is a
Producer.
To produce.
Producer, right,
So he came down for Marshall concert.
one of them concerts.
A few years ago. His manager ended up linking with my business partner, because my business partner does film and stuff, Mikey. And Mikey gave him a hat. And then when Teddy Riley did Remember Versus
Right.
during the pandemic, he was addicted to Progress hat.
Yeah.
Right? So random stuff like that has happened.
Placement by.
So as he's, because I think there are technical difficulties, so the manager came in front of the camera and real people started to message me and tag me and say, oh, look at it, So that wasn't planned, but stuff like that could happen.
That's cool.
I have some people, like I ventured into EDM music and thing. I have some friends who, they would have rocked it, You know, so it is kind of out there, but there's so many brands in America. It's like, how do you stand out? So that's where we have now.
Urban brand too, so that's even
Yeah.
even more of a challenge.
Nah, I think EDM will be a nice school because I want to see that in like tomorrow. You know tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that will be a flicking Tomorrowland, a whole kit out ETP. Well, I'm not sure if it's called it ETP.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it.
Okay.
Man, same thing, man.
So when the ETP thing like a tracker, so everyone you just.
No, I would say anytime we travel and stuff, people ask us about, like, anytime I travel, I make sure we're something addicted to progress. Same in my business partners. People always ask us about it. People stop us, but, you know, as I said, there's so many brands. When they're dealing with the international market, just like music, it's a slow, it takes time.
Yeah, the build a tribe, basically.
Yeah, you gotta build community.
A community.
You gotta build community, yeah.
Because basically, you know how big spray grounds get, right?
You're right.
Spray like the bag.
You're right.
I was rocking spray grounds when it was just for graph. Men and men trying to hide weed in our bag.
Yeah.
It's a hidden pocket. Well, like if you do have a spray grounds bag, don't worry about it. But anyway,
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. Yeah.
Right. So, and then now how it become the new giant sport for teenagers. When I see everybody have one now. That's why I like small, I want to say boutique brands. Where it's just like,
Gotcha.
I know. Okay, I know. Okay. You're not up on this right now. You don't know this shit right now. Like, I want to wear a hat like that. It's like, where do you get that thing? I was like, make that. I was like, bro, you don't even know what this is. You don't even know.
I'm similar in terms of my personal fashion and thing. Like, I like to wear stuff. Like, I always wear shoes. Well, tonight I have on something mainstream. Like, I have on a Jordan, but I would wear Chinese brands on it. Like, I would go on Amazon and just find something. Like, even
That's
like
amazing.
watch. Like, you know, like the stuff that I like to wear something nobody else.
No, well, that's why I like spray grounds because
Yeah,
it was like that.
Time.
So,
But no, it get me straight.
that's a big face.
Wow.
Nah,
Yeah.
big face.
Yeah. Or this, or like, you know, like this is just a cassette. I find home and I make a chain, right? But it's like,
That's like, what happened?
it just has full steam. But out, I used to wear more blingy stuff before, but out of everything, this get the most attention. Like everybody, like TSA in the airport will be like,
What's on the
that's real
tape?
cool, man.
What's on the
Tell
tape?
us list. He's on the list.
Yeah, right now playing Ronald Reagan hidden tapes on this. So that's
Ooh. Yeah,
Right now,
dark
it's
files,
Terrence. Right
boy.
now, it's Trinidad Killer and Saki and that is the mixtape, Terrence mixtape.
Them
you
people
can play
get
that in your
so
car. Your
hard.
car have the.
Actually, yeah, my car still have
Love it.
This is amazing.
Yeah, we ain't
This
seen one
way
of
now.
that in a while. Retro.
Yeah.
That's a good fit.
yeah,
Retro.
yeah.
You know, everybody needs to stop saying they've seen it all, right?
Yeah.
Because until they see a cassette on a pen as
Until
a
you
pendant,
take
Yeah,
until you
this,
take a pencil and
you ain't see
No,
it
but what I
all.
love, this is such a great networking tool. I've met so many, it's like senior artists without senior artists. But generally, the more people that talk to me or just, you know, like I talk about older people, younger people, like it's just interesting.
Yeah.
So
I think you also need to have the intellect to explain why you have a cassette around your neck, dog. You know?
that's a
'Cause-
demo. It's a
Yeah.
demo. That's my demo.
Yeah, I mean, I obviously I am,
Because
you know,
if
like, I'll use my personality and just to make a
Correct.
joke, talk shit, and just say, you know, it's my mixtape coming out
Walking
in
around
June.
with a
You know.
cassette on your neck is wild, you know, though.
Yeah, but that is my personality. Like Isaac could tell it. Like
I
I
like
just I used to wear two different color shoes for a while. You know,
I have
like
a brethren.
that is my style.
You know him, tall man. Same kind of tall things. Wear two long, pull up his socks all the way up.
Same
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
The front pair of socks. That's his flick.
That is just no, and I think it shows confidence. It shows you know, it shows I don't care what people think. It shows, you know, and I have always liked fashion and I like being an individual and just, you know, like just being myself. I've always
I
been
agree.
myself.
I agree with that 100%.
Because you know, like, oh, girls just be like, I want to be a new. I trying to have a different. I'm trying to have a new look, but the new look is always look like every other chick look. Like all of them is just like the blonde bald head.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, okay, I'm screaming daddy issues. Sorry,
You know-
I'm gonna say it how they say it's giving daddy issues anyway.
You know what
'Cause-
happened? Long as a wild dog, we ain't tell the ladies we love them, dog. Like I feel men
Now look at them so love, man.
I feel men in a while haven't said to their women and the people, the females in their life that, hey, you know, we love all you know. Or they don't have to be fighting up so much. It's like you see your sister fighting you and you just put your hand on her forehead
Yeah.
and say, calm down now, girl.
Yeah.
Why are you fighting?
Before I put any figure for
Now we gotta get the ladies.
You want
first,
ice
man.
cream, you want something to eat.
What you want?
Why you getting on so grumpy? I think that's what we need to do with the ladies. And just talk to them and tell them we're not here to fight. Alright? So if you might hear something on the Hero program, it's not because we hate you. It's just men does be talking like how men does talk, right? That's
Yeah,
disclaimer.
love to the ladies, man.
No,
Yeah.
I was like my kids last night. I really love kids.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
No, like, I must say ladies. Ladies
Ladies.
over 18. Let's just make that
Ladies,
clear.
women,
Yes, make sure it's
women,
a
ladies,
PG
queens.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's not push it. Let's not push.
You say stuff for the queens.
Let's not.
Say
Because the next one is Empress Mother Earth, and I was like, that's what it's stop. I stop it by Queen.
Nubian Queen.
No, Nubian Goddess.
Oh,
No,
God,
they
no,
have,
no, no,
they
no,
have
no, no, no,
been
no.
promoted. Such since been promoted.
I already finished with that. But
So whatever.
yeah, so you was talking about the voting thing, right? Because
Yeah.
let me
Out
tell
of
you-
all the color hats. And I
Wear
must
a
say
red
this,
hat.
Yeah.
with white text. That is crazy because you will be walking through America
Yeah.
and some liberal black person is like, you hate your own kind.
So, you know, funny enough, people just tell me, like I say, all types of people just tell me, because there's a new color in the ATV, but I strategically wear a lot of red, white, and black in my wardrobe. So that is just my like part of my swag.
So they will say kind of that's like a political party.
No, that
Yeah.
before I was like, okay, if that is a Magna hat, this is gonna be a great show. And it's
I thought it was gonna be a balance.
Yeah. I mean, listen, what's going on in America right now? I thought politics was wild in Trinidad until I started. Well, America is a whole different level, and I don't know if always we see any parliament fights in like Taiwan. And
Yeah, but no,
one of the
that's
countries.
Africa and
Actually,
things
have a
be crazy,
compilation
though.
called Taiwanese parliament fights on
No,
YouTube,
them
where you can have
really-
They
that
expect
volumes
it to
of
fight.
something.
no, they're really about that life.
No, I was saying we think the whether it's PNM, UNC, etc. in Trinidad as well as
No, but in them countries it's clans. Yeah.
No, but there is different, whether the energy and what's going on right now in American politics is like wrestling, bro. It's like it's hard
exactly
to, it's hard
what
to
I
even
said.
take it
Seriously.
serious, and it's like.
Hey, when I see the
Like if I was
obstacle out-
American, I don't know who I would have voted for, and that's crazy. Imagine you don't know who. Like obviously, you would want to not vote for.
They cannot
no,
be
no,
back
no,
being in.
right?
No, don't call her name.
Yeah, I just said the MAGA, right?
Yeah.
But it's like you just don't know. It's just so wild. Like,
Nah, them spear campaigns different though.
I'm not lying to tell her that. I think it's really built for stupid people, like a lot of them, because I was watching one of the stuff. I think it was it's what's called the Republican
debate.
one.
yeah.
And I was like,
Republican.
okay, that's gonna be wild. And then I see Terry, and I go and call his real name, Hulk Hogan. Comes out. I say, hold on, Hulk Hogan. I might vote for Trump. No, I don't. I might vote.
No, but I was saying, no, it's just like a popularity contest. It's
Yes.
like high school, right? It's like
Yes.
somebody going up for the president or the school council or something, and they bring the footballer to do something for them, or they bring the popular girl, or they bring the hot girl, or they bring the basketballer, or
A lot of pageantry and bamboozling taking place because
Yeah, no, and when it comes down to the issues, and I think even I would say politics in Trinidad, most people, especially young people, don't really.
What are the issues?
We don't really know what the manifestos are. We don't take on the manifestos. We don't hold politicians accountable for the manifestos. We don't.
see,
Could somebody tell me that at least, like, what exactly are the issues? Okay, Trump or Kamala, what are the issues? Or Rowley or thing? I don't know what the issues are.
I think
I mean, I lightly follow American politics, right? But from what I see, it's definitely on the Republican side, like tax is always a big conversation in terms of the wealthy trying to get taxed less, So usually the Republicans are more pro that, and then the Democrats try to balance it off and want to tax the wealthy heavier, So that's one side, and healthcare is another thing. Healthcare is always so true, like
the
with
healthcare sucks.
Obamacare, something that But then when you talk to Americans, some of them say that Obamacare, he didn't really do what he said he would do, and so, but politics is tricky, right? Running a business, I can only imagine running but then abortion is another one.
Okay.
The abortion rights is another important one. And then like LGBTQ plus rights,
Right.
that's another one. The minority is always like in America, Black, Latino, always that's always an issue. The rights of
race relations.
and then immigration is a big one too.
That's
why
even- that's the one
Yeah,
that we
I
should-
didn't say names. Maga man.
The MAGA man,
No Maga dad.
Don't
Maga
say
man.
her name.
Yeah, like he keeps on mentioning that. So I don't know if you saw the thing.
Immigration.
Yeah, he was saying in Springfield, they eat the
Eating
Haitians
cats.
eating
Eating
dogs and
cats,
cats
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. But
That's
all
right.
that is playing on people's triggers. So he knows there are people who
He is
hate
calculating.
immigrants.
He's
and he
calculating,
telling people that immigrants coming to take your jobs. And that's a big thing in America, right? Like even in Trinidad, like that's a narrative here, right? Where
Yeah.
people will say like Venezuelans come to take Trinidad's jobs. and
Chinese
that
okay about that.
but the thing is, Venezuelans are the hardest working people.
Yeah, Chinese people don't care about that.
So,
Chinese people can
should
care
I,
less.
in all fairness, should I
Yeah.
give the job to a Venezuelan and I'm going to take no break for the day? Or
Yeah,
should
that's
you
a-
got me on his phone?
But
Yeah,
Trinidad
And
is
we don't want to
care.
hear them conversations as Trinis. We just feel like we're very entitled.
Yeah, yeah.
And Americans well entitled to in their
And we
own
get
way,
that.
so.
We sort of adopt that now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Two
this
trips
is-
to New York and that was it.
Yeah.
We get everybody come down with an accent, our Jordans and
yeah.
a I love you New York t-shirt.
And I love you, New York.
This is the public disclaimer.
Oh, when we press that button, that means technically what we're saying is like, this is like a pause before the whole pause. So whatever we say now doesn't really count. It's the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
It's the Twilight Zone. It don't really count. You can see whatever you want now.
You can see there's a time to
All
be free.
whole- yeah, all whole's
right?
back,
The whole,
yeah.
the whole back, right? So every country in the Western world living on a dual state kind of system. It's are the people who living under the dome, which is the ones who study who going and be in power, and it's are the ones who living over the dome, who basically put somebody there
Yeah.
so that
Yeah.
the ones under the dome could be like, all right, finally somebody who care.
Yeah.
Right? But
It's all marketing. It's all. It's like wrestling. It's like.
no one that cares.
Oh,
yeah.
you like wrestling? You are a wrestling fan?
Yeah, I was up, bro. I used to.
Okay.
I used to be
Nobody
obsessed
gives a
with wrestling, man. I
damn,
used
you
to
know.
peon wrestling games on here.
Republican, Democrat, they don't
Well,
give a shit, you know.
Yeah, and how it is in America is like naturally the Democrats was in most recent times was seen as more minority friendly. But if you go back to history,
The Republicans is the one who free slaves.
But
yeah,
that
and
kinda-
the Democrats who
That
guilty
kind of going into what
certain-
you was talking about before.
Yeah.
When you were saying that there's a certain type of racism that is experienced when
Yeah.
people not allowed to be outwardly racist. There's be a kind of covert racism now.
Yeah, no, there's some people who say, well, I have a black friend, so I'm not racist.
And
when
I
they
think that's
think
what
like
all the
that, so-
Democrats is be kind
Yeah.
of perpetrating now. So it's kind of be like,
Yeah, and the thing is, the we call the names or we just say
You
it.
just say what you want to say.
Yeah. So I say like anybody, all the political leader, whether it's Obama or Kamala, they play any politician plays a role. You know, like they are not necessary. They don't have the actual power.
Yeah.
I think the older you get, the more you realize people
deep
who
state.
put them in power, as
Yeah,
you were rightfully saying.
Yeah.
Is
No, it's the same thing with down here. Down here
Same
crazy
thing,
to me.
same thing.
The craziest thing with down here to me is like, okay, we have a very high murder rate situation that
Yeah.
they say, man, and then for some reason we blame Rowley for that. And I was like,
That's not Rowley fault.
Rowley's not fucking police.
yeah.
Yeah, well,
Rowley's not police, bro.
Ronnie, that's not Ronnie's
saw
fault.
them
per
porn
se.
and cape and jump
but
on
I guess people
fountain.
see it as we vote you in, so you're responsible. So you know what it is? I mean, create it a business, right? If it is something happened with one of the banks or something, right? The CEO of the company is usually the person who has to answer, right?
Yeah, the head of the rule.
So the CEO, or if something happens in a school, a fight happened in a school, the principal. So the Prime Minister, Trinidad and Tobago, President, whatever, is like they are the CEO, they are the principal, that's how the public sees it. Like they are accountable.
Well,
I
I
can't
could say as well, they might.
I can't blame Uncle Keith for that.
Yeah,
sorry.
Uncle Keith not accepting that. He telling her, that is not my fault. You understand? So all you choose better and try to blaming
Well,
the man.
who fault it is? I think that is
Who faulted it? Okay, I can't say Rowley out here with that cape on, with that mask, and be blaming
No, I'm
Batman.
not saying this as well. I'm just saying, but whose fault is it?
The person pulling the trigger.
But then why they pulling the trigger and why are they in a position where they feel like they have to do that?
No, that is where we starting to go into the whole.
System. Yeah. That was it deep now. It goes deep now.
Start to
But,
go down to the whole.
but you
nitty-gritty.
can't, just like you can't blame the Prime Minister, you can't blame the youth who have nothing. And like for him, it's like, I want to get this, whether it's brands or whether it is opportunity or something. And this is the only way you know to get it.
Is it that I
set
can't
up in a
blame
way.
him, or is it that I can't blame him, or is the fact that the capitalist society that we learn to be very materialistic, and
Yeah.
instead of teaching him, hey, you know what, you can have a good character, try to have integrity, try to have be a man as what is the word, perspicacious,
Perspicacious, man.
yeah,
Yeah.
perspicacious man,
Yeah.
as opposed to you need to wear a Jordans, you can buy an ETP hat, it's. You see how I do that?
Yes, it's a shameless
You
man.
see what I'm saying? You can buy ETP. You don't have to buy the Jordan hat, you can buy ETP hat.
Well, I guess it's an ecosystem,
Vanity.
right?
Vanity.
So in those communities, fellas doing these things for most people is wear brands and buy nice cars. A lot is to get girls. Right? So it's, at
it
that
all
age,
boils
at
back
that
down to the
age
same
now,
stuff.
I mean,
even
you can have.
older men.
Yeah, but I think when you mature, it has some people who just really like cars, right? And they buy cars for themselves because there's car men, you know?
all right.
But it have fellas
I
with
will
sneakerheads. But I'm just saying, like at that age, when you're impressionable and you're trying to be cool, right? And you're trying to get girls. And at that age, when you see the man with the brands and the B13 and whatever driving,
rims down.
with the rims down,
Rolling in
that the
for
man getting the
reviews,
girls.
the
So
hard
you
pump. Yeah.
see that and you want that. And the only way you could get that is to do these, like rob people, do this, join a gang, etc.
The easy way.
And also, I
Fast
mean,
money.
it could go down to like lack of father figures in the community. It's very deep, So it's like if you're not really getting, everybody wants love and attention.
Yeah.
Even people from these communities who are gangsters, etc. Right, and opportunity. So
Yeah.
if you're not getting love, attention, or opportunity in your life, you say your mother saying you're stupid just like your father. You're not a criminal just like your father. The only person who making you feel like you have some kind of purpose is the man to say, yo, you hold that and rub that person.
Use my soul, yeah.
That was it,
That's
so,
what it is. So they get a sense of belonging.
Acceptance.
yeah. So that was it. I can't blame the government, but then I can't blame the youth because it's a whole
So it's the parents'
system.
Oh,
Well, it is very deep rooted
you
because
just want to blame somebody. You just wanna
yeah.
blame
No, well,
somebody.
parents, I think definitely have. I mean, I think just like how you need to have a license to drive a car, or you can buy a license, right? But
Yeah, that's
no,
true,
but
yeah.
I think being a parent is a serious thing, right? Like you bringing a child into this world and you have all this responsibility. You should have a license to be a parent.
I think people just make sure that I didn't realize. Oh, I didn't know it.
You might have
gotta
a
be
license.
honest,
Yeah.
No,
One second before we gotta realize when Isaac was on the show,
Oh, yeah.
we was talking a bottle of shit with him now. We really learn some serious political things. But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm
No,
trying to say
Isaac he have a lot of opinions.
no, but no, we wasn't even talking.
We-
about
but we
talk.
talk-
We
yeah.
talk.
We catch up.
We catch up.
Right.
Well, and I said all of this to say that if you want to have better conversations and whatever, you need to put $5 in the Patreon, which is www.patreon.com
All the lousy bastards. Who can help you out now?
/he__. Who knows? We might talk to Mr. Braveboy. Braveboy, okay, I don't know, a custom made or t-shirt, and they could only get on the fucking
In the Patreon,
Who
on the
knows?
Patreon,
I might talk to him after. Who knows?
Don't worry. Yes,
I got that convincing.
we show how to use fried potato chips and thing too on the Patreon. So you'll figure
You think that's you think that's blue waters and I'm gonna bleep it out? That might be vodka.
that might not be blue.
This might just be punching.
This might be it. Punching our brand the thing.
It might be.
Or it's just a type of
I think it's our brand. I think,
Punching our brand?
Nah, these people smart. Them register them, then treat them, then register our brand.
It's
punching.
like
Punching is our brand.
punch is a brand now, yeah.
Yeah.
Punch, I believe punching is a brand.
I thought it was
Punching
just
out of the brand.
like high
Percentage.
high percentage, high proof rum.
Oh, like
Because
cognac.
that diamond punching it.
They only have white oak.
You know, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
I think-
we had a
No,
function
because
that
we
shop.
have diamond punching. You don't drink. You drink. You drink.
Like a
I
scotch.
think I've seen that.
Yeah. So punching probably a category like scotch or cognac or whatever.
Yeah, I guess. It's a
Anyway,
type.
so-
Well, it's both. It's a type and a brand.
So
Legal
for Amazon.
moonshine, boy.
So that was a
Yeah.
good segue for you to put the money in.
Yeah,
now
put
we
the
could
money
go back
into-
to
yeah.
Back to the show.
Yeah.
So the politics of the day is one thing, right?
Yeah.
But I always think that we always have a sobering kind of attachment to what humanity really is now, boy. Because you're watching all the craziness that happening, like Batman, for example. You know you have to bring up your dog, Batman.
Bruce Wayne.
Nah, the local one.
Why are you doing them that?
I-
You're watching new videos.
No, boy. I watch the video, no, but I hear some new videos out.
There's a lot of new videos. He said he's doing the Lord's work. He's trying to show us men that you're killing shit.
Yeah,
I
all them
can tell
fellas
you
and them who
this.
friends who
That's
never
the biggest drug is not cocaine, it's attention.
Yes, but
Currencies.
Yeah, and I think everything that goes viral, everything on social media. I mean, I like the shit, right? I like to be able to think, but then
100%.
no, but then a piece of melody one is me getting older is like
Now,
you kind of start to see
being son.
what we pollute in our minds with on a daily basis. And
Yeah.
I wonder is all this distracting us from the issues of like, yo, shit, really, our, like, have a shortage of US. It have a
It's true.
the
It's true. Absolutely
the
true.
economy might be in a mess in a few years.
Absolutely
To
true.
have a brain drain of people busting out and
Yeah.
saying, yo, I
There's
have
not-
real families who saying, hey,
there's not
Trinidad
enough
not safe
jobs
and
for
busting.
educated people
It's
down
not
here.
enough. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's a weird thing. 'Cause I say, oh yeah, I love this shit. But then at the same time, it's like,
When you're cracking that 40, it's like,
yeah.
what am I leaving for my child?
Yeah, you start to see Trinidad in a whole, and even like Christmas into Carnival, you see it as a spirit of just distractions, and I love it. But then,
The
it's,
real issues.
yeah, like people just kind of forget about what really happening in the country and why it is.
And then to address the real issues from an intellectual standpoint where we not just balling, is this one fault or is that one fault? We addressing the issues from the point of view that I am a straight man, 30-something years living in Trinidad and Tobago, what is it that really affected me?
Yeah.
You understand? And how can I contribute now to making that better? Because that is the problem.
No, and we all have our part. Is going to say something?
No, I realize racket on every level in this country. So we can't. My issue is, you see, when we try to blame the prime ministers, regardless if it's Kamala or Rowley or whoever, sit down in your workplace and try to think about why is there a stock shortage of printing paper where you're working? Because somebody's stealing from the work or they're printing their own personal thing in the workplace. That's racket.
No, and I say nepotism exists in all aspects. Like if you know somebody working in the bank, you just see it. Somebody have you can skip the line because you know somebody working there. You have a linking license. So we all guilty of nepotism in some way. But then when it happens on the government high level, we upset and we
that's
say,
hypocrisy.
That's hypocrisy.
I think it's like a double slap in the face to the proletariat now, boy. Because
we use big words here. We use big words, Mr. Braveboy.
I think it's a double slap in the face of the poor man, because at the end of the day, there are so much stipulations in place for you to live as a labor, the point of labor in the country. Right? You're living under duress. Let me call it that. This is not really a free country. You have to pay for everything that you do. So you're looking at it from the point of view that I'm paying tax on this, tax on that, tax on the other, tax on this and the other, and the fourth and the fifth. And then you're coming to see these people who's making the decisions, making it easy for themselves.
Well, it's an interesting perspective because, like healthcare.
Yeah.
Healthcare is free in Trinidad. It's not the most efficient system, but it's free. Healthcare is not free in America. Healthcare is not free in the UK.
Free in Canada.
Free in Canada.
That healthcare thing, when you're thinking about healthcare, is more the reasons for people becoming ill is a lack of education in society about how we should really take care of ourselves. So naturally, they'll have a larger pool of sick people.
And I think just going to a doctor regularly, the people I would say is more like, just to say it is like more like upper middle class, like rich people go to the doctor, just something like that. Just they go. I'm talking about going to like the private doctor regularly. Checkups. Because the public health system isn't the most efficient. It's harder to go to the doctor more regularly if you're not in that income bracket. But then most people don't really study that, especially it's only when you cross like 35 and think people just be like, and it's only when something happens there, you study your health.
Which is the same thing with, like, we treat our bodies like how we treat our car. You're supposed to go to the mechanic 3 months. Every 3 months, check this, check that. And then it have stuff that need preventative maintenance, which you're supposed to do for your body as well, etc. And we wait until, my knee don't work the same way it used to. It crack like this, it's crack every time I walk around with it. Oh, you have no cartilage. And then you have to go and get knee replacement.
And then the doctor had to deal with that, just like how the mechanic had to deal with. Like all these problems.
So kind of derelict old car, you see when I take all this part of the bamboo might have this right?
But it still is free now, even because I went through going through like with my dad's health, my mom's health, etc. Just going through public health and private and seeing the difference. And sometimes you could see that these the same doctors working in both public and private. So if something go wrong in private, they send it to public, right? And they spend all that money.
And then dealing with the same doctor.
And they deal with the same doctors, right? And
so it's kind of
realize it's a hustle. They realize it have good doctors who not on that, and it have doctors who properly hustling and so.
Bracket.
But we still have that, and it's like I try not just be fair with how we criticize government and Trinidad and all that, and I know definitely have corruption in this country and all that.
Well,
But when I talk to people from other countries like Nigeria, Venezuela, etc. We are like a dream for them, like how our country is set up. The fact that we have access to school, to free schooling, free, like remember we had GATE at a point in time. We had.
I would also argue that corruption doesn't necessarily start at the top in our country. Corruption is happening in somewhat the level above middle management.
Let me tell you how to start. If you want your child to go to a certain primary school,
talk to me.
Right, that's certain primary school. I have friends who are parents, all right, and and this is what we would have gone through when we were younger and thing. But if you want your child to go to XY primary school.
St. Xavier as well.
Yeah, you had when they born, you had to register them. Like, it's as serious as that. You had to know somebody who is a teacher in the school or who's the principal or know somebody. So it starts from Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
We talk there in thing, you know. In the same checkup. I trying to get my sick leave through the government system because if you go and pay a certain doctor is black, it is like we know you on racket. So my outplay was I had to go to the regular government system to get my checkup. Hey, I cannot go for doctor, but I sick leave for that 2 days because I'm trying to get off racket again. Anyway, I sit down there with this Indian doctor. I think he's actually from India, so I'm not being racist. He's actually, and he talking, he's like, hold on 1 second. And he just pull out his phone, Paul. Yes, we're trying to get into Lakshmi Gills, whatever. And he's talking to whoever, I'm not sure who. And like he's talking about his daughter, to get his daughter in Lakshmi Gills. Like she in pass it or whatever. But the racket going on for her to end up there. And I saying, so somebody, whether it's East Indian, whether it's African girl, whether it's a Douglas, whatever, with a right study, get in the school and it's like, fuck that girl, that doctor to get through.
No, and this happening since, like zone in, like zone in. Like if you're from Laventille, if you're from Malone, if you're from like certain areas.
Well, you know what zone in then. Okay,
I'm from Malone.
And
thanks.
No, and it's very real now. And then like I experienced it in school, like you see some people not too, like they're not. They wonder how they get in school.
Yeah, sure, they didn't pass to the school.
And then it's our people you meet who should have could be going. They should have been going to school, but they were zoned to another area, and then they had to do the work around where they got in a later form. So I know that's unfair. Now. Like when you think about all those things, like there's so many things, man. Like the older you get, it hard to understand and digest. Wow, this is really how life was.
Yeah. So you're making all the lie now.
Yeah.
Santa Claus not ring, and you just had to like
Santa Claus. But next thing, like I went curious, right? Like hairstyles and stuff, right? Any hairstyle that is African is considered untidy.
I had a me and Isaac had an afro. I had an afro, and like the white boys know,
long hair,
glowing hair. You look like Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah.
Never get pulled. The one day, because what the smart shot was, if you had afro, you probably had afro in school. You had to pat it down, you had to skip on one side, you like, put it down so they thinking it's short. One day I say, you know what, I'm going to be proud of this shit. Click, click, it out there. Pulling off is one time, you had to cut that shit, Let me show you the rule book. You see the rule book, it says,
no black power will be having here.
I think it's not a change because a boy who was like a Rasta.
Big up yourself to him, ba.
You remember? His parents was like, nah, that's his religion.
Because when it goes into religion, it now becomes
religious obstruction.
The laws start to.
So they have to make it now a thing that tell the students if you're not a Rastafarian or this and that.
What I seen in like all the quote unquote, I actually hate the word prestige school. Now that I'm older. When I was younger, it was just apartheid. But I just find you're saying one school prestigious, another school isn't.
And it's the same syllabus across the board.
Same syllabus. All them things, are we part of the problem? Yes, if you understand what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, because when we remember. You was going to school, and then of course you had to go evening lessons by somebody. The evening lessons teacher, of course, is teaching at a government school, a lesson, not a prestigious school. And like sociology, we had to go by Carlton Chinapu. That's when I went to Gustin, he was the sociology teacher. But he was teaching his lessons to basically all the prestige schools students.
Like the doctor in the private hospital.
Same exact thing. But we again, this is what we would say. I said, I'm even trying to put you up on Mr. Chinapu, but to me, I think it when we Gustin, we get the treatment like the convent girls or the sexy boys or whatever. Because after, you went 7 years? Nah, I was just like, I do like waking up at 5:30 in the morning. Fuck that. I go now, August. I can wake up 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock, I just walk through. And you can put your hair anyhow, but like for the lesser, non-prestigious schools, put your hair anyhow, nigga. You're going to be a laborer anyway. Basically, you're going to learn woodwork, whatever. Fuck you.
No, and the next thing too, I will always remember this shit. I can't remember if it was junior achievement or something, but it was all these schools.
Young leaders?
Yes, young leaders.
It
was just like, we went somewhere close to school, and this guy was an economist. I think his name was Mr. Mayers or something. But he was talking about business and like what we want to do when we grow up. And this guy from Tranquil stood up and he said, well, I want to be a plumber, right? People laugh at him. How you want to be a plumber? He said, y'all shut up. He is probably going to make more money than all of you. Because he's going to be a plumber. It's a respected profession. It is. And I think that is the thing now. The more I look at the school system and the more they want everybody to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer. But then the pandemic showed the people who thrive the most are people who had skills. Like when I say, I'm not saying that obviously all those are skills, but I'm talking about when you have skills, like, you know, like
to build
woodwork,
a society,
plumbing, mechanic, etc.
Yeah.
And the system, it was set up in such a weird way. But I just trying to figure out how do I feel about it. Will we
I think we at fault. The only thing we at fault for as our generation at fault for is not learning the Constitution the right way. Right? So
true. Most people don't know their rights.
Yeah,
but most
fight for reform.
Most people don't. And but certain things too, like, I mean, working in the bank, you know, like people looking like us can work in the bank. Like not that long ago.
Like you know, the origination of First Citizens Bank was a slave bank, right?
Right. Well, I know it's supposed to be like government bank,
but it was originally like
What is that slave bank? What do you mean?
As in, for the black people.
As in, basically, the slaves would like mortgages, like they would borrow money to buy slaves. That kind of.
You mean in that regard?
You talking about slave?
You talking about slave bank,
slave bank, a plantocracy bank.
Nah.
Your voice is not constant.
No. Fact check me if you like, right? But that is the history of.
Yeah, no, as I was saying, it's not so.
The plantocracy used to save the money there.
Yeah.
You know, and we now come in now and say, hey, the government bank, boy.
Government bank, and it's the bank of the people.
Same thing with you. He was a plantation.
He was a
plantation.
Yeah.
If you watch it, that's why that the big house. That the big house.
Yeah. You know what? I think most. I mean, that's just the history of Trinidad. But it's important because that wasn't that long ago, and you know, like the persons our ancestors fought for us to be able to do just like even for us to just publicly speak about anything.
Story. Niggas be.
For this to take place. For this to take place.
Just be.
Men not take swing. Men not to swing on a tree.
Yeah.
Nah, that is real, you know. So
really not seem
that was we don't know. I just say we don't know our constitution. We don't know. I think I don't know if it's whether it's oil money or whatever. Remember, we were probably the kids of that oil money.
Being experimental.
Oil boom generation. Yeah. So for us, we never like growing up.
Our parents was the first of our parents that have money.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. When I say it, you still, but it would have probably had some financial struggles in terms of family and stuff, but in terms of the other struggles, that is one thing to have financial struggles, but to not have rights. If you understand what I'm saying,
and money, they're educated. So most of them are
CSC. That's why for them, they were like, my kids need to get an education. My kids need to get an education because they wanted us to just have better opportunities than them.
I agree, you know. But you see, our fault is now we stand up and looking lost, right? And then there's nobody to really say that is the direction or that is the direction because we are the adults now.
What we was talking about before is, okay, you had the best job, you had the masters, you had the PhD, or whatever. So you're making $50,000 a month. What the fuck you spending any money on? It have nothing to spend money on in Trinidad. Like, if you think about it. Where is this? What's this? Other than buy land?
I mean, in terms like investment.
No, in terms of, okay, you have all this money.
Right.
Now what?
If I find shit not really expensive, though. Like,
it's expensive.
No, but
I just said
it's a one line. But
yeah, you mean otherwise
to do what? What's the point of having you hustled 50 hours?
It's not that expensive to take your family to the beach. It's not that expensive.
Well, it depends. I think if you are 40 something years old.
Spanish? Good.
I just said, and you have kids in any from primary school to university.
Right.
All that just costs, you know, like sending your kids to school costs a lot of money. Then, you know, just
what I think he getting at is the people who have the dust now, but the people who have that kind of level of money.
Not with that Terrence situation where you have
Terrence and that kind of money.
If you have a big house, a big house is maintenance.
Yep.
So more, in order, like obviously more money, more problems.
Yeah.
The more money, the people in the society who make the most money, they now have these assets that they have to maintain. So rather than maintaining an apartment, I live in a townhouse, and maintaining that townhouse now is like even before you're just cleaning up and organizing stuff. I can only imagine having like a mansion.
We
have
a theory on our townhouse thing.
Yeah.
That townhouse thing is a racket by itself. Remember how big houses used to be? Like your grandmother house, your grandfather house, whap, 3 levels thing, wherever you side a mountain, you have a view, you have land, wherever. Now, with our generation, you see, niggas see this scene. They got 2.1. Like 2.1, they're going to pay it off for 30 years, and that house going to be like a monopoly house. It don't ever be. It's not the same size.
You can't
It's not
see
the
a
same
grandchildren
size, bro.
running around the house.
Nah.
By the time you breed your girl twice,
Yeah.
whap whap. Yeah, we might have a move, you know.
But now they're selling safety.
Safety.
They're selling gated community
That is
safety.
another false
They say gated
sense of
community
security.
safety. No, but that is that a lot of people now when they're looking, especially like young female professionals, when they're looking for a place to buy.
Yeah.
Security is
absolutely.
number one. It's like they need to know that it's gated community. So if anything happens, the neighbor will be able to.
If they only know.
And the gated community, the neighbor don't care about you.
The neighbor don't have
they
no
don't care about
time.
you.
But again,
it's the selling point.
It's the selling point.
Selling point.
And we can sell shit. That's the whole point.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, I can understand it. You see how big houses used to be. Like,
yeah.
no, the housing market is about to crash, you know.
Jesus Christ.
Right? Like I really hope once it does. Not for the fact
It's
that
a tricky one. Right?
yeah,
It's a tricky one.
the housing market is a mess. Like the prices you see it.
People can afford. Most people. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Now I was gonna say most people who are young professionals or middle-aged professionals, if you are single, you can afford a house. You need. It's only couples could barely afford. I know couples who making real good money who.
Fighting up.
Yeah, like they want to get something that they actually want. Like this, they want
And
to.
they could pay for.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. So they gain all this money for what? What's the point? It's like to have
Yeah,
one
no,
dream. What's the dream?
But it come like I use house as one example, right? So like whatever, whether it's a townhouse or a house, to upkeep the house after a few years, your house needs like maintenance and renovations and stuff, right? If it's an asset. A car is like the persons who, let me say, they level up and they want to buy a Benz or a BMW or etc. And it's like when I have some friends who have cars and when I talk to them and the kind of headache them have, I drive an X-Trail, right? So for me, parts easy.
Cheap.
My mechanic living right by me, right? So I know X-Trail group on WhatsApp. If I need a part, I just message and say, yo. But then if I level up and buy a range, I know how to, if something go wrong with that range,
from foreign.
yeah. And then there is so much. So I just say, I only mentioning these things in terms of the more like food, right? If you're trying to eat healthier, generally, it's more expensive. Now, even if you're buying groceries and stuff, like the quality, like you say, meat quality, this quality. If you like salmon versus something else, it's more expensive. If alcohol, if you like premium alcohol.
You can't drinking Johnny Black is a better scotch.
That was saying, so I realize it, and all that's part of capitalism, but the more you make, the more you spend because you know more, your quality of life changes. So it's a kind of cycle.
Here's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
And I want floppy business again. I don't know. You might pull me in to work for you or something. I don't know. That is true. I don't know. My resume just has to be right on the ground.
You could be a model, though.
No, I couldn't.
Yeah.
Thanks. Okay, I'll take it. Anyway, so okay, it's not cheaply made. Your shit isn't cheaply made. Like you understand what I'm saying? Like it's not just like the crappy print or nothing like that. So it's clearly work done. I'm not sure if it's China or whatever you're doing to get it. As opposed to the same kind of put in a Jordan. So I will spend how much for a Jordan? $3,000.
Yeah.
You come out with your sneaker. It don't cost as much, but because you didn't dug back in the 90s, and it's like, nah, that shoe is shit. But it's like, no, it's the same amount of construction. I'm trying to think about the consumer now in terms of, look, this is something that is, but because it have the name.
No, and I say marketing brings so much value. All right, like this is a great example, right? This one we took off the label. We're not going to say what it is, but if this said Fiji, this would be.
Have you tasted Fiji water?
Yeah,
it tastes the same to me.
Well,
it does.
I think it's different. I can taste a difference, but I wouldn't spend. I drink Fiji if I get free somewhere. But I just saying, imagine that you could just take the same water and depending on what story you tell from the mountains or blah 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 blah. But if somebody, I saw there was somebody who had a bottled water company from Lavantel, I believe. And it was same branding, was nice, everything, but people naturally may not.
They're not going to drink the water for.
Just like if this had no branding in the Let me reach out to them.
Yeah.
I try and
that's a good
Lavantel, let me reach out to them. Find out we going to get this.
Years ago, but I was really happy to see that now because I enjoy seeing. I respect entrepreneurs just because entrepreneurship is so hard.
Yeah, people
you know,
that say they
it's
want to be
really hard to
entrepreneur
be
until they start to be entrepreneur.
it's a different life, you know, and there's so
Definitely.
many ups and downs and wins and losses, plenty losses.
Yeah, that real
'Cause that's what I'm
mental
saying.
strength.
Not cheaply made brand,
Yeah.
not like thing. It looking like a regular, I want to say American brand or whatever.
Yeah.
And then it's like, nah, well, I know what it's highly brand, you know.
well, if-
you know, it doesn't go be
Well, for me,
local,
like,
you know.
I like to take chances, right? And so for me, as I say, like, well, I have a China. I don't know anything about it. I have a Chinese shoe that look like a Yeezy. So period people ask me about it. And I was like,
It's
yeah,
cheap.
height up.
Yeah.
And that is
Cheeses.
like a $50 US, a Chinese company. I actually reached out because I almost ended up doing an endorsement for them all kind of thing, right? And that is something that, because they see me wearing it, they think it's an expensive shoe, but it's just $50 US. But it's just how we view things now.
Perception.
It's perception now. So, but there are some things I would say. So for me, more quality food, especially like if you're dining out and things.
Yeah,
With food and thing, there's premium food,
of course.
right? There's fine dining, there's that kind of stuff. With things like wine and stuff, sometimes it's more expensive. But then at the same time,
It's all that big rules.
Yeah, that's nice.
no, I have found, I am the person who will try and experiment. I would find like a cheap wine.
Right.
That tastes real good. And I
glad
would
you
bring
said
it
that.
alive and they'll be like, oh my God, what wine is this? Da, 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 da. You know, so.
I'm glad that you just said wine because
Because-
I have
Yeah.
to make wine.
Yeah.
Oh, you
That
make
one.
wine?
Yeah. But what you see, the thing is, with our wine, the same market with that is, it's like, oh, you see the bottle, so I get my shit corked, everything, looking like a proper wine.
Right.
This homemade wine now. It's like,
Marketing.
Yeah.
this homemade wine now. So, no, because it's not in the cities of the Alps of France. I don't
Yeah.
I can't charge $5,000 for the bottle.
Yeah.
You make that? Niggas don't make wine.
but
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's just the luxury good market has that the how they try to do their marketing is more they make you seem like you outside of a loop. Right?
Yeah.
You're now up on this.
So if you had
Yeah.
to come, because I see something in a high-end restaurant recently, hey boy, the timepiece boy. No,
Yeah,
me
exactly.
here, Cassie,
That's definitely not Cassie.
No, not Cassie. All this stuff. Yeah.
That's not.
This is my Chinese brand.
That's
Yeah, that's not. You might have to take a trip over there.
Yeah.
You know. Say you want to make a trip. If
I
you
think
want to go
it's
China,
3 different times, you know.
if you want to go China, you can't go
Yeah,
with.
nah, that's it. Treat it for that.
But if you go in China, you cannot go to Winnie the Pooh. I just telling you that.
That, I hear, but I don't know what you're doing when they go there.
No,
It's
do
a real
not.
scammer, so that's
No,
what-
no, do not go with Winnie the Pooh.
Don't go
Like,
Winnie the
that's
Pooh.
a kidnapper.
No, Winnie the.
Like
Okay.
the literally, like the
Like the Winnie the Pooh, yeah. You go to
China,
you go to jail for that.
Oh, yes.
Can you not wear no pants?
No.
The Honorable Xi Jinping.
The internet
Yeah, he
is
don't-
crazy.
he don't
Somebody
want it.
made a comparison that he looks like Winnie the Pooh, and he
Yeah.
was like, "I'm not having this
Yeah,
shit."
don't carry.
Don't go with Winnie. Just I just telling you.
Yeah, well,
So
I
you
was
confiscate
planning
that
to
shit
put
away.
it- Yeah, man.
They can't be having with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Just in
Look,
case
look,
you're
look,
going
am
to
I
China.
dying up? Am I dying?
Anyway, Winnie boy.
No, but we was talking about,
My
you
little
know,
cousin wanted to tell little Winnie the Pooh and I say, hey, never get it in China.
that's set up. That's set up.
Well,
But you know, if there were only, you know, 2 podcasts who was willing to endorse your brand for you, you know, it just
Just
showed it
put
out
donkey
there.
on it. The bad donkey.
Yeah,
on it.
yeah, yeah.
Put
Don't
don-
worry, talk,
Put
yeah,
like
talk,
that donkey on it.
Yeah.
You know, so this is
Purple.
that was
Purple.
We're still in the Twilight Zone.
Twilight Zone.
Just remind them everything that we just said
Uh,
was as a matter of what our personal opinions are. We don't really mean that this is the mainstream, right? At the end of the day, everybody entitled to their opinion. Free speech.
Free
right?
terms
Yeah.
as well. Anyway.
Free terms too.
parents.
Right? Go through dog.
Oh, yes. So I, under the firm impression of the licks you had to take in terms of you're black, you're from the Caribbean, and now you had to find out who's this trendy nigga. I think he gonna come into the fashion industry in our and try to get a cut of the market share because you know cut up that in the States it just like cut up ridiculously.
Yeah.
Then you had to fight the Nazi brands like Adidas and Puma. And yes, they were funded by the Nazi movement.
Yeah.
But they funded the Nazi movement. I'm saying that outright.
Facts.
Facts. You don't know that?
So I think I had I see a lot of things casually on social media or
That's
just
right.
people saying myself. So now that you mentioned
So-
it, that's
Okay, well,
Yeah.
factoid. Adidas was like a family thing, and then the brothers Adi and Das, and then they fall out, and Puma became the not the subset, but the competing brand. It's literally the same family, but like we's brothers, your family say fuck me, and my family say fuck you, and we just went our separate ways. So, but at the same point in time, funded the Nazi movement. So all you don't like the Nazis, just remember you're wearing the brand. now.
Have you heard Hitler's speech in English?
Hey, brother, man.
No, it's on social media. I'm not gonna endorse it.
yeah.
But
What you say?
this dog, like I wouldn't. Yeah. This serious.
You're trying to get him by cancer.
No. All right, let me put some backstory onto this. Right. Apparently on social media they've translated the German speech from Hitler into English. So what he's actually saying is not
What was being propagated.
It's not too different from what modern day politicians say. So English speakers now starting to get a different relativity to what the atmosphere or the tone was at that point in time now. And it was a highly frustrated tone. Now I am saying it is kind of necessary as an English speaker to internalize what he's saying from our vernacular and understanding. The intellect now makes a little bit more understanding take place. What he's done from what he hasn't done, that is the international court and everybody to deal with that. We could see what the issues are, but we also see what the victims of that same perpetration doing now in certain other parts of the world.
Yeah.
So,
Harry, don't say nothing here.
Yeah.
Harry, shut your mouth and listen.
yes, Harry. So it really is now a whole just food for thought to think about what has transpired and what history does do now.
You know what? We're talking about capitalism and stuff. It's one of those things like with cancel culture as well. Soon, if it is we really followed cancel culture and so we wouldn't have no music to listen to. We wouldn't have no close to where we wouldn't have no, because you could find some, or even the eco-conscious brands, somebody might interfere with somebody. Something. And I think for me that's becoming real difficult in life, because it's like I really, the older I get, the more I want to be conscious of who I support. And it's like you're losing all your, like in music, like Diddy, Russell Simmons.
Hey, I ain't care. I listen to that. 90s bad boy is the shit. Fuck everybody.
No,
I don't even know, but...
So the question is, can you separate the artist
Yes.
from the man?
Yes.
And if so, can you separate the corporate brand from the family, or from stuff that the family has? And it's a tricky thing.
Good question.
Because I battled it too, right, asking the question, but I really don't know the answer for myself.
Interesting enough, because you mentioned it. Jesse, not Jesse, the runner. The runner.
Yeah,
Jesse,
in the Olympics.
Jesse Owens.
Yeah.
The ones who do and they take away the flag.
Yeah.
They was like, when they was in Germany, Hitler treated them way better than they was getting treated in the States, you know. He was like, over here, he was being treated way...
Movie reference for you,
Uh-huh.
right? In Inglourious Bastards. When Hitler was talking about the Negro athleticism. No, I think it was Goebbels was talking about the athleticism.
Yeah.
They wasn't speaking about it in a
Like the kind of American...
damn these niggas kind of way.
Yeah.
It was more like admiring it and joking about it.
Like, because about the super... We supposed to have the super race, but look how them doing it.
Yeah, it's a weird one, because I feel like black people have dominated everything. Right? We created all music genres.
we dominate everything except politics. But anyway, go ahead.
And it's that systematic in terms of, you know. But what was going to this point?
You're saying that the dominance and the Germans, how they dealt.
And I was saying...
Yeah. So I was saying that with people tend to, everybody, even the Queen of England, like, I'm sure whoever is the star black athlete of the UK will always be admired. It's like, y'all are great at this, athletics, entertainment. But when we excel in things that territorial to what they dominate, and it becomes an issue. So I think that was what I was going to say.
No, because I tell you, Jesse, they was like, Germany was great. Like, this is you're about to do this shit.
Yeah.
Germany, it's like, get love. What? Ford and him was friends, Henry Ford. The same Ford Focus, all they want to buy and stuff. Yeah, he funded the Nazis too. Anyway, but...
Henry Ford.
Yeah, Henry Ford was a big Nazi sympathizer, and he was white and he had papers. He was like, if all they feel like they can mash me up, I have dust, bro.
Yeah.
And like, if you Google, and I'm making this up, they always say, in terms of Trinidadians, I think a lot of stuff we did was take on the plight of other spaces and be like, oh, yeah, Hitler, and just run on it and not understand the full context of...
Remember, we also
Muhammad
very
Ali did it.
Americanized.
Yes.
Like I think we grew up on, and it's only now I more realize it. Like we grew up on cable, like, or we grew up on local TV. That
nigga.
no, I said I know you know. It's like cable
We've been
Or
Americanized.
local TV
Yeah.
is American shows
Yeah,
that they
yeah,
show on
yeah,
local
yeah.
TV. So, we...
Was this show with the man with the cat? And you used to see the news the day before?
No, I don't.
You used to see the
Is that-
news.
is that local TV?
Local TV. You used to see the news.
Cable.
Yeah. You used to get the news headline on a newspaper the day before.
It's something else familiar.
And he had a cat. And his dog. And
Yeah,
you don't know what shot.
yeah.
Boy.
All I'm saying is,
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali, like everybody, great whatever. Remember they revoked his title because he was like, yeah, I'm not going on fighting all your
Yeah,
war
in all the
because
war.
no Vietnam. He was quoted as no Vietnam never call me a nigga. I just get called a nigga here,
Yeah.
domestically. But you want me to go run, fight your one now, put me in jail. I'll take the jail, revoke the thing, I'll get back.
Yeah.
That was base.
Yeah. No, these are no listen. That generation of black men who like stood up and against the system and thing, they don't build them like that.
No,
Like,
men was getting, keep in mind, men was getting hosed down,
Men was
dog
getting
bites,
blows.
yeah,
beat up from police.
Blows.
but when you see there was an ecosystem, you all watch Godfather Harlem or
Yeah.
when they realize there's an ecosystem protecting, so they were always gangsters protecting, or like whatever, like from gangsters to like more religious community,
Yeah.
like the Nation of Islam,
Yeah.
right? But they protected those men and
To
women
some extent.
who- yeah.
And-
But there was an ecosystem of black people protecting each other in America to make sure that.
And then
that they-
Then
they-
came the crack epidemic.
No,
And that
what pack up Nation of Islam is the
Oh,
the
the
Diddy
scandal.
stuff. No,
The scandals.
the Diddy stuff. He was on some kind of Diddy.
And
The
that was
honorable-
a real difficult thing because.
So yeah, hold on, and then look what shit you doing. It's like
No, but that is the thing. So to me, most powerful men, I had a conversation with somebody the other day about this, right? The most powerful men and women with power and money comes, you tend to dabble
Proclivities.
and dabble. Whether it's
Proclivities.
drugs, everybody had a vice, right?
proclivities.
Yeah, proclivities, right? And people like to, whether it is, if you had a vice from when you're young and you suppress it, when you get money, it's only going on. So whether it is you like to drink or you might
Yes.
learn something when you get in these powerful rooms.
You might find something.
People having orgies or people just
Yeah.
finding prostitutes or
Army Hammer. If
Yeah.
you know Army Hammer, the Winklevoss, the fellow who played the Winklevoss twins in the Facebook movie.
right.
He was trying to put him up. This was like a year or something ago, where she was like, "Oh, we into." So he's from a elite white people, Aryan nation looking type fucking family, and he legitimately say, "Well, I like to put kills in cages and taste their blood," allegedly.
Yeah.
And then they was trying to slam him, and in my mind I was like, "Miguel, if you ask me why I tell you why you don't get offended."
Yeah.
But then I saying, I don't understand that flex because I didn't come from that background. Maybe that's a
Yeah.
flex over there.
No, I think most of these fetishes people have is a power thing now. You
Yeah.
know, like even when they say about people like to get pee on people, shit. I know people who pay like they tell IG models to get fly out to Dubai and manage
I've heard.
shit on them.
I
Like,
watch the camera and smile when they say that because I have some names I could call and I'm going to.
Serious.
Yeah, don't worry.
and shit like that.
Yes, plenty girls get fly out. Plenty girls get fly out and they come back. No, Dubai. And when they take the picture in the part in Dubai, hey, look, the whatever building, whatever, I out
The
here.
Burj Khalifa.
Meanwhile, you're out here.
Yeah.
You know what? Agil, like our news came back and said, here's the scene. I get money for that, but you can pay for therapy. I didn't really laugh when you tell me that. You
No,
can
well,
pay for that.
it's something that I life you want to live, but people, I just think people into real different kind of way.
Yeah.
But I think the thing is, most geniuses, something, you know,
They have their
something,
idiosyncrasies.
you know. So it get weird because the people we see as phenomenal are the people who make great art or are great professors.
Yeah.
A lot of you always hear about this great professor who interfere with
Who
one
on
of the
Epstein
students.
Island.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
so I guess the Olega is like, how do you navigate morally around this way? Do you separate the person from their work?
Yes.
Can we do that? You know?
Yes. Yeah.
You could, and I'll say,
I still listen to R. Kelly.
That is a
And I went
very...
to Chicago and
That
R.
is a-
Kelly is perfect. Like, they only play R. Kelly in Chicago.
No, I mean,
I
the
love
dance
it.
music,
Chicago.
the dance music is the
I don't
issue
care what
there.
you, I don't care. Yes,
Yeah.
no. Hey,
But
if you had a bro, suppose, and it's a wild one.
Yeah.
Suppose him doing that with them girls was fuel him. Like he wouldn't be able to do it without doing that. Would we get the albums?
No, well, I could tell you as an
Without.
artist, I could tell you the same thing too. Is like, you have your women can inspire you, experiences, correct, but women in particular inspire you as an artist, and it drives you. It gives you this kind of inspiration to create, to do this stuff, and you can get caught up in that in that web. So, and that is us just doing trap so in Trinidad.
Yeah. Pilots for
R. Kelly, who have the mansion and the dungeons.
The real success. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so he have access like this. Because I would say just being anybody in Trinidad, like once you're doing something, once you're doing something like, you'll have a podcast, people admire people like, oh, these fellas have a podcast. But like, it will be like, hey, these fellas have a podcast.
Must be nice. Yeah, sure.
So I'm just saying it's levels now. So on that level of money and power, I mean, I've encountered people who are like American millionaires and things. And the kind of...
Them ones a different speed, bro.
It's like when you see, I used to encounter this guy who literally had a...
Yeah.
Like he would have an entourage of women. Literally.
It's
And
crazy.
they wear t-shirts with his face on it and movie stuff. Yeah.
What was his name? Give me
Popov, boy.
give me his number. Maybe me and him can line.
No way, son. This man,
But I'm not talking about the plenty women here. Is when you start across the line of going down the rabbit hole.
The prey.
Yeah, when I say people, I think it just have normal. When I say normal people who not millionaires, like the average citizen, people into weird shit.
Even
But
poor people into weird shit.
They're just not famous. So they don't have the money like that.
And they can't get away with the cafe.
They don't mean but have people who just they're public servants and so, but they into weird shit.
Like who is end up smoking crack, dog?
Easy. Yeah, I know. You can't afford cocaine. Cocaine expensive. You know?
Well,
That's
to me,
wild.
to me, I always wonder that because I was like, if you look at a crackhead, you'll be like,
Nah.
I don't want to be like,
My fake father, let's call him my fake father. He's like our mentor.
yeah.
He always used to say, we looking at our crackhead. You need to understand what our crackhead seeing, you know.
Yeah.
You got to understand. Crack had to be the greatest thing in you earth
Yeah,
for
that's
you
what-
to
yeah.
pop and be like, you know what?
I done.
And I think it's escapism, right? Because I feel like we all Trinidad is a real escapism paradise, right? But our main escapism here is drinking. I think people like people
And
look
then
forward to the
horning.
weekend because
Drinking,
you just
then horning.
boy, I hate drinking and horning, etc. But I have friends who
It's alcoholics. We have functional alcoholism is a Trinidadian thing.
Yeah, for sure. But I have friends who, like were addicted to cocaine at a time and having
Like crack or cocaine?
Cocaine. And they'll tell me like with coke,
Rich
that
boy.
high that you get is like it's a different kind of euphoria, and you want to keep you never experience that first time again. And I think crack is like that too. And
Infinity.
crack may be on a different level.
Now, I too much.
But I don't want. But it's like
My name.
when you see a crackhead and what a crackhead does to get crack.
Yeah, Dread.
It's like, why would you want to do
It
that?
have high functioning crackheads. Remember my name?
There will be.
When I was living in Pune, across the street, my neighbor smokes crack religiously.
Yeah.
He has more money.
Smoked.
Smoke. He died. Rest in peace. When he died, I literally saw him die. Like he called my cross, called the ambulance, whatever, and he died. Like me and him was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He had more money than all of us. In terms of
Inherited. And
no, I inherited his father, real land, but he owned like 50-something, 60-something. Like my father knew him smoking crack.
Yeah.
Like, because they grew up, say, around the same age group, whatever. He literally did. So I think he's just some random pipe. But one morning, he was just like, hey, you want breakfast? I was like, yeah. You want breakfast? I was like, I'll pay for it. I was like, bullshit. Because I custom seeing crackheads there. I was like, come in the car, this man stink, whatever. Full crackhead mode. He looks like a crackhead.
Yeah.
Goes to the place. What do we want? So I thinking, he wanted me 659 is just like, and I got to pay for this. So I done getting ready to reach out. I getting ready to reach out for the money, whatever. Giving him, so I done pay. Because he cannot take a step back, and usually I go pay for it and take the step back and you gotta pay for it.
yeah.
He pull out a coil of hundreds. I tell you, I'll fucking pay for it. Watch, show the 100 on me. It's like, holy change. And I saw, what?
Yeah, no, because I think we have a stereotype of what a crackhead or cocaine addict is, and there are so many. I think there are more functioning cocaine addicts. As in, I know people who are lawyers, doctors.
Yeah, doctors are the worst. Doctors are the
Who's
worst.
doing coke in the club?
Normal. Yeah.
But I similarly had a neighbor who was a crack. He used to wash everybody's cars in the neighborhood, and he's just a functioning crack addict. Like he never bothered nobody, he never thief nobody. He just used to wash cars and the money that he's buying crack.
You know,
Cigarettes or bed?
This nigga he's an Indian fella. Well, he just has dust because he was cousin, you know, cousin. So that's who I was renting from at the point in time. And he was just like, I'll give 40,000 because you have a Prado and a V6.
You have a Prado?
He has a Prado.
A crackhead with a Prado.
No, crack with a Prado. An old school Prado. Then he had an old school sports Lincoln just packed underneath, and he wanted me to get the schematics because he's an electrician by trade now.
Yeah.
So I had to get the schematics, and he's just like a hoarder and that kind of stuff. So me and him used to have conversations fuck is your real scene, bro? He just like smoking crack. Like, I say, why do you stop smoking crack? I say, bro, I have real problems. And he just...
That's his escape. That's how he functions. They escape the function.
So my cousin tells him, hey, I'll give $40,000 for that Prado. He was like, fuck you, I'll give you $40,000 for that Prado. And I was like, what? He have it like that.
Yeah. It's interesting. No, that's a interesting scenario.
You can't make that shit up.
You can't make that shit up, man. I say,
But
you
he's
don't know.
normally too, eh?
Yeah, he's most crackheads.
Don't have it like that.
Yeah, they don't have money and they just end up doing all kind of thing together.
Yeah, there's really just...
And it's sad to see because there's a young lady who I knew as an actress and a Latin dance. Like she's somebody you would know in the industry and man. Seeing her, keep seeing her in St. James and seeing her like she properly crackhead out now. And to see, it's first person I know, but I say person, not like a close friend, but somebody who you kind of come up with and you see
the,
she was real beautiful.
You see the evolution or the de-evolution.
Yeah, but it did that, yeah. And that's why I was like, I can't understand how you could want to risk ending up like that, you know?
Like, they feel
as
that
you
feeling.
That was the greatest feeling.
That had to be, you know what they say? It had to be.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Oh, it's to the point where you just like, you know, fuck life.
And crack ruined so many families, so many people suffering with Black Americans.
And
Trinidad too, when they talk to Trinis during
a lot of men lost their fathers to the crack, you know.
For sure.
Interestingly enough, they say crack was invented in Trinidad.
That's what they say.
I out here talking to a lot of people. It's like crack wasn't. They call it that next name, and Chinese, like the Chinese Trinidad.
The opioids
was smoking it. It wasn't opioids. It's like literally this crack. And I was like, you sure about that?
But they didn't say from not Columbus, not Honduras. China. You watch Snowfall?
No, you watch it.
Yeah, no. But they the conspiracy theories that seem to be true. That the U.S. government
CIA was trying to fund the thing in Nicaragua.
Yeah,
okay.
It's Nicaragua. So that's what I was wondering. I don't know. I feel like that would have been where, like, I would say that it come from somewhere in Latin America.
Hey, one thing
Central America, Latin America.
Mr. Braveboy, it sound very professional. Anyway, one thing I realize is behind every great racket, there is a treaty life. For some way. So when I white man, you crack? No, you see them. You have to get bonus. Why don't buy?
You go to buy the Dry River.
We Dry River.
Yeah, you go to buy the Dry River.
If you go anywhere on earth, you'll be some kind of weird life. It's like you'll hear the accent.
Yeah, actually, in our short pants.
And they'll be like,
what are you doing here?
I say, wait man, you don't sing a song. Yeah, but I was listening to that thing. What are you doing here? I was like, no, to be honest with you. I was like, I meet a man in Cura. I meet a man in Cura, but he say, oh, God, I play the right now. Yeah.
That is amazing to me. Like, how we really are people who...
We're friendly. We're super friendly. We're super friendly.
And always on our racket. No, we are tricky daddians. So we can't complain on to bring back time. We can't complain on the political racket. And everybody
that's
on
our
racket.
culture. That's
our culture is...
Other Caribbean countries don't
because
like us.
everybody who's complaining about racket go licensing tomorrow and the licensing officer tell you, come now, come.
Of course.
And
we mentioned in schools, like if it is for your family or you as an individual to elevate in society, you have to just do something, take a link, you'll take it.
Simple thing. Box lunch. Simple thing as box lunch.
Yeah.
You know you come from a well-to-do family. Sorry. You know you come from a well-to-do family. And you're doing all these shenanigans just to thief the box lunch. Or when I went Gustin, the teachers was taking the box lunch. I was like, hey, only getting paid to be here. These students, these underprivileged students. And them taking 2-3 box lunch, And trust me, in Gustin, the box lunch was top tier. He was getting gyros before gyros was just.
See, we never get that in our school.
Gustin was getting gyros.
The box lunch.
What I would say about CIC, because of whose children are going CIC, man, we had pizza boys or something.
For box lunch?
No,
box lunch, brother.
No. Just saying, like, we didn't have box lunch. We literally had, like, one of the wealthy families set up pizza boys. Like you could have buy pizza. When I say we had access to so many things, and it's only when you look back you realize, oh shucks, it was like fun in the school. Like why they couldn't get away with anything.
What they wanted.
Yeah, you kind of see how life works. But yeah, no, we CIC definitely. You know,
so you
got access to a lot because of that.
You go CIC Fed still, or you still like real in depth with the?
I tried recently. I like the dining with the saints and I kind of suppose help out and stuff.
And then they call it. They'll be like, hey, well, we have a special guest, and he had a song. I talked to the kids.
Yeah, to the kids. To be honest, I enjoy doing that because I did the school tour with Decibel. And for me, I felt like, all right, I don't want to go to like the quote-unquote prestige schools. Send me to schools that I could have more of an impact. Yeah. But then I realized I can't forget about my because I was me sitting down there, having somebody talk to you about film or music or entrepreneurship.
Because believe it or not, you might know this, but Isaac said that a lot of the Trinidad artists, I'm not sure if he was in that conversation with him, when they came and talked to Oli and was like, yo, Oli kind of inspire us.
Now, a few that happened to me. Isaac told me about it, but a few, about one or two told me recently.
Perfect example.
Yeah.
K-Lion went CIC.
Yeah.
K-Lion went CIC. And K-Lion, I mean, rest in peace. Because I think if he didn't die, he'd probably be.
He was one of the more talented.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah. And he had the hood behind him. Belmont was.
Yeah. So you go and talk, because it have underprivileged children in CIC.
For sure,
so you could have put the light in that one little future K-Line. Because to me, all he was rapping, but he wasn't really like in the streets doing shit.
Yeah. No, not exactly that. I ended up talking, but because I had to write like beforehand what I was going to talk to them about. I wanted to give them like real gems now, not just talking shit and just coming to talk. I really tell them about how life really works now. And like the main thing I was telling them about is value proposition. Mm-hmm. It's something that you don't really understand until you get older. But like anything that I'm a networking person, and how you build your networks is what value you bring to the table. Like what are you bringing to the table? And I tell them like in school, I used to bring the football, right?
Yeah.
My father used to drop me to school and he would like add a football, like a old football we had there. And I just from Form 1, I was known as the fellow who's bringing the football. So because of that, I never get bullied in school. I never get because after 3 weeks, the Form 6s used to be like Braveboy. Yeah, but if anybody ever come wrong here, we deal it, so fun.
Should I bring our football?
So I just say a simple thing like that.
Nah, the footballers.
I just brought the football. I was no big footballer or nothing, but I was the man who brought the football. So I just saying, I told them that, man, in life is like what you're known for, what value you bring in. Like what you bring to the table, and that helps you get into different ways. Yeah.
I want to ask him the next question, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure if you understand. We have to bring the manosphere. Yes, you bring to the table. This is a discussion.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I'm not sure if you're in a relationship with your date. What have you seen?
Yes, recently broke up. Well, recently singles.
Oh, all right. He's back out in the field. 6'5" ladies.
Monsters out.
Back in the street. If you want a link on him, you just sign up to the Patreon, www.patreon.com. I'll give you the link on him. Don't worry. I'll give you number, everything.
Just pass
all the measurements.
We measure your weave fun.
Your weave fun.
And your
you might have like this money.
Pennywise
speak some Spanish. I don't know. Anyway.
I do songs in Spanish.
Okay.
My most lucrative song as an Isaac was the other day is a Latin song.
Okay, I didn't.
He thought it was an EDM song.
Oh, look at that.
I was like, nah, Isaac, it's actually a Latin.
So when you go in them certain clubs in Trinidad, you might actually be having a song playing.
So the most random thing that happened is one of my songs is called Repeater. It actually played in barbershops in Venezuela.
Shit.
Like in the barbershop, there's these music videos.
Yeah.
So I have an artist I work with in Venezuela, and they was like, bro, your video is playing. That was like, what?
That's so interesting.
So I was going to ask this. When you're across the table, since you're back out on these streets, you're done spending more than $200 on the date, because apparently $200 is a little bit of money to spend on girl. Apparently. I don't know.
Yeah, 200 is I can't think about it. I think that is, if you pay any bill,
$200 is a little bit.
Yeah.
Buy snow cone expensive. Give $200.
No, all I say is I am 39. Mm-hmm. So like any woman around my age, $200, like a 200, unless it's like a casual, $200 is what you're going for wings, like you're going for.
That's still more than two.
You going
we had to go is only Savannah.
What I was going to ask?
You could do that.
Do you breeze them? and say, well, Miguel, what do you bring to the table?
Oh,
yeah, that's what I wanted to know.
all right.
So I think I've been fortunate, and like I say big up to my ex, like it was not a bad breakup or nothing. It's just, maturity and just realizing certain things with aligning with our features and stuff. But now, like I've been fortunate enough to date women who pretty understanding towards, like if they wanted, they could have had the money, man, they could have had the this, they had the that. But and I'm the kind of person I like a first date, that's a given. Like, I will cover the first date, but as things progress,
It's chivalrous.
I don't know, but as things progress, it's like, like, especially if we go to like really nice places, it's like sometimes we split the bill, sometimes I pay, sometimes if, like whatever. It's one of those things now, but generally, like we split, we have experiences together, nice experiences. But generally, first, like for me, I think generally I would want to, as a man, I would want to cover.
Well, I'm making it bad for me.
Well,
The moral is
let me hear you say.
And find the right woman.
I say if you meet somebody really cool and they have these beautiful, cool, understanding women.
Marcus.
Yeah.
Mr. Braveboy. Yeah. I am not 6'5". And I'm not talking about me. I'm not talking about Joe Public, man. I get my 6 feet. I'm not 6'5". Joe Public, man.
But you're still 6 something.
No, you just be quiet for 1 second.
Yeah.
You're tall giant. I'm not 6'5". I'm 5'8", average height. Or a little less than average height. I don't have a music video. I don't have the smile. I didn't go to the prestige school. I don't have my clothing line. You see this table? You brought a phone to the table. You brought a bottle table. You brought a mic to the table. But the average, or is what we like to call the non-select, he don't have all of that shit. In all fairness. You catch what I'm saying? He don't have the Christmas list glasses.
I think a lot of issues, a problem that a lot of fellas do realize on the dating scene is that you're not seeing what you bring to the table. And that is an internal thing. And I think you're looking at height. This fella is 6'5", I am 5'8". But you are you, and that is your superpower. Whether it is your sense of humor, whether it is what all is two very, like having this conversation with you all, I am so appreciative that we have an intelligent conversation. You all are two intelligent fellas. So it's like,
don't tell anybody.
Huh? No, what I'm just saying is like, I believe it's real. A lot of women have this checklist of, I want a man with money. I want a man who this. I want a man who this. To the point where he had twins in the family. It's getting ridiculous, right? I say it is getting ridiculous, but I think, I had a respect that, like women who, especially like the young professionals, the middle-aged professionals, I could respect standards, right? Mm-hmm. So if it is that you work hard and you have a good job and a good education, naturally you want a guy who match you in something, right?
I can see that.
But at the same time, that's not everything in life, right? Mm-hmm. Quality is very important. And I think it's one of those things, you may not be seeing what you could add to their life. You know something I would say here? Mm-hmm. And this is what players do. Mm-hmm. Right? If you can meet a woman and get to know her and see what's missing and fill that void, and that's with great power is great responsibility. Because the problem is a lot of men use that to womanize and things, right? But that is the trick there with anybody. Like if you see, nobody is perfect, nobody's life is perfect. But if it is that it could be this, like if somebody has, I'm just saying this, if somebody has daddy issues, right? Like a woman has daddy issues or something. Yeah. But your qualities are like, don't mean to say like you're paternal, but like she feels protected around.
Yeah, fatherly qualities.
Yeah, she see that you're responsible. She sees, I think that she would naturally be attracted to you.
Until you see your nudes on the social media. Because,
unless it's a terror. But you get what I'm saying? It's like he's
trying to do the actual the long way around the mountain. If you really want to shortcut to that, just find out what Kaluna father have on spirit. Anyway,
that's talking about deep dark psychology.
Shortcut.
Yeah. No, but I think for me, I realize like different women like different things, different people like different, so it's like it's just I think confidential. Confidence, I mean, sure yourself.
6'5" confidence is so easy.
I know, and people can say that, like somebody tell me that they have tall privilege. Right?
Yeah, you have tall privilege.
They got that pretty privilege. Privilege, right?
Yeah.
And I can agree to that. I'm not gonna disagree regarding that. But at the same time, that is not everything, right? It's like you had a...
I understand what you're saying.
You, one of the super race. I tell you, Hitler, now we watch, you know, like, you want me like, yes, come Jesse, come Jesse. This is what we're talking about.
My grandfather, right? My grandfather's my height, so that is the she's there.
Christ.
Nah, but I think, bro, like, just, it as I say, like, you could be tall, you could have swag, you could do whatever, but if you can't hold a conversation, if you can't show, as I say, it depends on the quality of woman you want and the levels and that kind of stuff. You had to prove yourself in other ways too, you know. You had to show qualities, you know. They had to feel comfortable around you, they had to trust you, they had to...
Well,
you think it's tall man privilege.
Tall man privilege. It's like when thing was on the show. When thing was on the show, it's like, oh yeah, it's good. That's the next stop, man. Next stop. I thought, what do you rate, man? When he was like, oh well, you know, I take them on dates with black. So I was like, bro,
what you say? You take them on this?
I take them on dates with a picnic black.
Yeah, he's a romantic.
I watch this man. That will not work for the average man.
Yeah,
you good looking.
He was a good looking guy.
Yeah, like that good looking Zion. With the one who say he don't want single mothers, he don't want baby mothers.
He's not spending 200 on no dates. Right? He's basically doing the bare minimum and he's loving him now. But
and I was like,
because he good looking.
He looks like
yeah.
Final.
Right, so we come to the end of our show. Right? At the end of the day, this is where we had unfortunately part with you lousy non-Patreon supporting people.
Yeah. He underscore home Patreon. He underscore home.
You still find on the Patreon? Yeah, come on. All right. So, Hardy, last words, final words. Remember what you want to tell them what you want to tell them. Plug your brand.
Yeah, just good vibes, fellas. You are you, and that is a superpower. That is my closing. You are you, and that is a superpower. We keeping it addicted to progress. Check it out. Addictedtoprogress.com. Check me out on Instagram, Braveboy, Braveboy. On all other platforms at Real Braveboy. Lots of new music coming out. Actually doing some Carnival 2025.
Yes.
Interested.
I have a nice music video idea for you. Yeah, 6'5", you like wrestling. Let's just start with it.
Yes.
Like Undertaker. Oh, good vibes. He Ho podcast. We out. I'm out. Like cartel.
Final words. Hey, all the side bitches better shut the F up. If you know you're taking your percani load, just take your percani load. Like, stop talking. Stop talking.
That is too much time management, boy. That life not for me, boy. That is too much.
I've got nothing but time. I like Vin Diesel at the end of
family.
At the end of Tokyo Drift. I've got nothing but time.
All right, so everybody, you know the usual. Do good every time and good will follow. We out.
That's all, folks.